Well, guys, the one thing that we got to keep in mind is the people that we've elected into office do not care about the American citizen. Okay? They are using our tax money and giving it to every other country except ours, except the ones that fund the government that is giving these billions of dollars away. As we just approved, $95 billion going to Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and other Indo-Pacific regions that we are allies with. This is absolutely disgusting to me. Absolutely. We are a declining civilization right now in the United States. And all our elected officials, the people that we blindly just keep electing without really even knowing what the hell that they vote for, we are putting them in positions to sell us out. And I am tired of it. I am so sick of it, guys. So we're going to get into the facts. We're going to dive right into it, find out exact details on how much money is going to each spot. This is just, it's just absolutely crazy to me, guys. All right. But sorry for being a little heated right off the bat. I just got done reading all this stuff. So I'm in the thick of it right now. Just upset that we are just so dumb when it comes to electing people that have a track record of just caring about every other country except ours. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. But before we do, smash that like button, subscribe to that channel if you haven't already, guys. I truly do appreciate all the support. But let's hop right into it, all right? We got this first article here from Reuters. U.S. Congress passes Ukraine aid after months of delay. A sweeping foreign aid package easily passed the U.S. Congress late on Tuesday after months of delay, clearing the way for billions of dollars in fresh Ukraine funding amid advances from Russia's invasion force and Kiev's shortages of military supplies. The Senate approved by 79 to 18 four separate bills, passed by the House of Representatives on Saturday after House Republican leaders abruptly switched course last week and allowed a vote on the $95 billion in mostly military aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan and U.S. partners in the Indo-Pacific. The four bills were combined into one package when it got to the Senate, which President Joe Biden said he would sign into law on Wednesday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he was grateful to U.S. lawmakers for approving vital aid for Ukraine. This vote reinforces America's role as a beacon of democracy and leader of the free world, Zelensky said in a statement on the Telegram messaging app. And I want to say right there, I'm so sick of this guy. He's a fucking comedian. Sorry for my language. He is a comedian. You realize, I don't know if you guys have actually done any research into this guy, but before he got elected to be president of Ukraine, he was a professional comedian. Okay? Like this guy, I want to slap him across the face. Reinforce the beacon of democracy and leader of the free world. We are the leader of the free world. If we go away, all hope across the world is gone for freedom. And we are losing it by the second. And it's no thanks to you, who we've now given almost $200 billion. $200 billion of taxpayer money. While we have people in the United States that are broke as hell, trying to afford everyday life. Just going to the grocery store and paying gas. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh my God. Anyways, let's get back into it. This vote reinforces blah 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 blah. The largest provides $61 billion in critically needed funding for Ukraine. A second provides $26 billion for Israel and humanitarian aid for civilians in conflict zones around the world, and a third mandates $8.12 billion to counter communist China in the Indo-Pacific. A fourth, which the House added to the package last week, includes a potential ban on the Chinese-controlled social media app TikTok, measures for the transfer of seized Russian assets to Ukraine, and new sanctions on Iran. Biden's administration is already preparing a $1 billion military aid package for Ukraine, the first sourced from the bill, the two U.S. officials told Reuters. It includes vehicles, Stinger air defense munitions, additional ammunition for high-mobility artillery rocket systems, 155 millimeter artillery ammunition, TOW and Javelin anti-tank munitions, and other weapons that can immediately be put to use on the battlefield. Excuse me. The Senate's Democratic and Republican leaders predicted that Congress had turned the corner in putting Russian President Vladimir Putin and other foreign adversaries on notice that Washington will continue supporting Ukraine and other foreign partners. This national security bill is one of the most important measures Congress has passed in a very long time to protect American security and the security of Western democracy. And we're stopping right there again because this does nothing to protect American security. No one can even find Ukraine on a damn map. Okay? The average American has no clue where Ukraine is other than it's close to Russia. Okay? They have no clue. And they have no clue about the context of the Ukrainian people. And half of Ukraine still speaks Russian and still views themselves as part of Russia. Like, we need to stop playing this game. This is what this and the security of Western democracy in Ukraine, which is as far east as you can go before you hit Russia. Guys, I just don't understand. I just don't understand how we're doing this. I don't understand how we're doing this. You're lying to the people when you say this is protecting American security. No, it is not. You are bankrupting us as the American people because our leaders are not regular citizens anymore. They are millionaires. They live in nice, luxurious homes and probably have multiple homes. Bernie Sanders is one of the few that used to always say, we're going after the billionaires and millionaires. And then he became a millionaire, and now he's just saying, oh, we're just going after the billionaires now. It's just absolutely sickening to me, guys. It really is. And it's just something that we really have to pay attention to. We've really got to pay attention to this. The rhetoric is important. It's very important to understand how they're gaslighting us. Okay? Oh, God. This is so annoying. Anyways, back to the article. Democratic Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told a news conference after the vote the aid package could be the last approved for Ukraine until after elections in November, when the White House, House of Representatives, and 1/3 of the Senate are up for grabs. Much of the opposition to the security assistance in both the House and Senate has come from Republicans with close ties to former U.S. President Donald Trump, a Ukraine aid skeptic who has stressed America First policies as he seeks a second term. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, a strong advocate for assisting Ukraine, expressed regret about the delay, largely due to hardline Republican objections to adding more than $113 billion Washington had to authorize for Kiev since Russia began its full-scale invasion in February of 2022. So, guys, just keep in mind, in just over 2 years, we have now given Ukraine over $180 billion. $180 billion. And they're saying that we couldn't come up with 10 to 15 billion to build a wall on our southern border? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Like, I know that they think the American person is really stupid, but we're not. It's just that the average person is so caught up in trying to just afford everyday life and work a full schedule that they don't have the time to really dive into the details on what the hell that their elected officials that they put in place to represent them are doing. If they found out, if they really knew, if the average person really knew that they're gaslighting you on saying we don't have money for the border, but then at the same time give $180 billion to a country that nobody can even find on a damn map, there's a missing correlation there. Okay? Like there's some missing pieces. And this is really pissing me off because I dive into the context all the time. And I guarantee you the average American, if they really understood what they're doing, how they're playing the two sides of the coin here on what funding is possible and what funding's not, just keep in mind, they give no shits about us as American citizens at all. At all. It's just, it's plain as day now, guys. Plain as day. Anyways, some of the Ukraine money, $10 billion in economic support, come in the form of a loan, which Trump had suggested, but the bill lets the president forgive the loan starting in 2026. So what the fuck is this? The influx of weapons should improve Kiev's chances of averting a major breakthrough in the east by Russian invaders, although it would have been more helpful if the aid had come closer to when Biden requested it last year. Schumer said he left a message for Zelensky on Tuesday night telling him, okay, we got it done, now go win the fight. It was not immediately clear how the money for Israel would affect the conflict in Gaza. Israel already receives billions of dollars in annual U.S. security assistance, but it more recently has faced its first direct aerial attack by Iran. Aid supporters hope the humanitarian assistance will help Palestinians in Gaza, which has been devastated by Israel's campaign against Hamas to retaliate for October 7th attacks that killed 1,200 people. Gaza health authorities say the campaign has led to deaths of more than 34,000 civilians in the Palestinian enclave. And that right there is gaslighting again, because the Gaza Health Ministry do not report the difference between civilians and Hamas fighters. They don't. It's just 34,000 complete dead. Okay? That we don't know the split. It could be 50-50, it could be 70-30. We just don't know. Okay? And again, we went over the numbers. We went over the numbers on the last podcast. They have 2.1 million people in Gaza. 34,000 people have died. That is 1.6% of the population. That is not a genocide. Just clear that up, okay? And go back to the article here. It was the second time this year that the Democratic-led Senate passed security aid for Ukraine, Israel, and the Indo-Pacific. The last bill more than 2 months ago garnered 70% support in the 100-member chamber from Republicans and Democrats, but leaders of the Republican-controlled House would not allow a vote on the foreign aid until last week. And let's scroll down here. The House passed the Ukraine funding by 311 to 112, with all no votes coming from Republicans, many of whom were bitterly opposed to further assistance of Kiev. Thank you. At least there's some. Only 101 Republicans voted for it, forcing Speaker Mike Johnson to rely on Democratic support and prompting calls for his ouster as House leader. However, the House left Washington for a week-long recess without triggering a vote to remove Johnson. Yeah, I really don't care. It's not about Johnson necessarily. Like, you vote for it. Like, it is what it is. Vote for it. I'm just very irritated that we have this many people in Congress that we, the people, put in place to represent us. And they're willing to give this much money to other countries when we are it's so evident that we are in a decline. Economic decline, cultural decline, a societal decline. We're in a decline on all levels, and you're just shoving money to other countries like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Because you're millionaires. These people that are voting on our behalf are all millionaires. They are living a different life than the average American. They can withstand the economy going to shit. They can. They can afford it. Us, we can't afford it. Okay? Like, Lord Jesus. I just don't understand how we can't come to an agreement on this. You know what I mean? But anyways, I got this little video here. It's like 3 minutes just to give us a full breakdown of what's going on. Talks about the TikTok ban too, which I don't want to go in. I had the other article pulled about the TikTok ban. It's really not, I mean, it's a ban, I guess, but it gives TikTok 9 months. It gives them 9 months to divest from China. We don't think it's going to happen, but even that, it just makes it so you can't download TikTok on US servers. So if you have a VPN or something and you log into to a different country, you have TikTok. Or if you have an Android, you can go to their website and download it on an Android. Okay, so I mean, if you really want TikTok that bad, you can still get it. You know what I mean? But it's really not that big of a deal to me. I personally think TikTok, if it's owned by China, if you know how China operates, the CCP needs a member of the CCP in every big corporation in China. Okay? Every single one. And they control the data. Do I think that the United States should have that data? No, I don't at all. But I'm more worried about China having that data than the United States as of right now. I'm always gonna think that it's worse for China to have that than the United States, no matter how bad it gets in the United States. But still, especially for security reasons, I definitely think that we needed this to happen. They're just saying, hey, we don't want to ban you, but we'll ban you if you don't want to separate from China. If that's the case, then so be it. I'm cool with that personally. But let's get into this video here, guys, and really get a little bit more of a detail on this aid that we're giving out on our tax paradigm.
And the U.S. House of Representatives finally approving tens of billions of dollars in U.S. military aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Carlin Donahue has more following a bipartisan vote that was delayed for months.
In a rare Saturday session, the U.S. House has voted in favor of approving $61 billion worth of aid for Ukraine.
On this vote, the ayes are 311 and the nays are 112. The bill is passed.
It was a grueling months-long fight to bring the vote to fruition as some hardline Republicans remain adamant that the money could be better used on American soil.
You see, the United States taxpayer has already sent $113 billion to Ukraine. The American people are over $34 trillion in debt, and the debt is rising by over $40 billion every single night while we all sleep.
Taylor Greene, also one of the reps calling for the ousting of House Speaker Mike Johnson on the grounds that he brought the vote forward. But not all GOP reps have the same view, not only when it comes to Johnson, but the aid package as well.
Our standing in the world is at stake with our vote today.
The chairman of the House of Foreign Affairs echoing that sentiment.
The Ukrainian people did not choose this war, and Ukraine was invaded by a bloody tyrant who has designs to go far beyond Ukraine. If allowed to go expand unchecked, Russian and Chinese aggression will only make a deadly global confrontation more likely.
Now, the $61 billion in funding is going to be sent to Ukraine and their regional allies for things like replenishing weapons, stockpiles, and facilities. It's also going to help the U.S. military continue their operations in the region and assist Ukraine in buying advanced defense equipment, which is something the country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has been pleading with the U.S. and NATO for months.
Putin must be brought down to earth, and our sky must become safe again. And it is real, and it depends fully on your choice.
Taking to Twitter after the vote results, Zelensky thanked the House for their decision, saying democracy and freedom will always have global significance and will never fail as long as America helps protect it. Saturday's House sitting marked a striking display of congressional action after months of stalemates and dysfunction. Reps voted on a series of aid bills, which also included more funding for Israel and allies in the Indo-Pacific region.
This is a moment where the Congress is required to stand up for democracy, freedom, and truth, and push back against aggression.
$26.4 billion worth of aid has been allocated to Israel, while $8.1 billion is heading to Taiwan to help counter China's actions in the territory. Now, the bills that did pass on Saturday are going to be combined into a single package in order to simplify the voting process for the Senate, who are going to need to reapprove the proposal before it can go to President Joe Biden's desk for a signature. For City News, I'm Carlin Donahue.
Check this out.
I mean, guys, that to me, he definitely gave it a good amount of detail there on exactly, what's going on, and gave a little insight with Congress members. But I'm so tired of them caring about other countries more than us. There is no evidence. There is absolutely no evidence that Vladimir Putin would go to any other country other than Ukraine if he got Ukraine. There's just not. And let's not forget, he was about to sign a resolution early on that would have given him a little bit of Ukraine, but it would have ended the war and would have been fine, where there would have been peace. But then Boris Johnson of the UK went over and told Zelensky not to sign it. And we're at where we're at. I'm just so tired of them caring about other countries before the American citizen. I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. They want to keep raising our taxes. They want to keep finding other ways to tax us on side hustles. You know, they want to know, they want to be able to spy on us, which they just passed that bill as well to renew. I forget exactly what bill it was, but it's kind of like the Patriot Act, I guess, but it allows the government to be able to spy on us, like, legitimately, at least for another 3-4 years or something like that. It's just, guys, everything that our government is doing is not for the American citizen. And we really need to realize that. And we really need to get people in positions of power that will vote on behalf of the American citizen for once. For once. It's been decades since they've really cared about the United States citizen. Donald Trump tried. He was trying. We had more money in our pocket. Gas was down to $2 a gallon. Everything was good. And then COVID happened. Shocker. Shocker. And guess who funded it? We helped fund it through the NIH. So it's just, guys, we really need to pay attention to what's going on. We need to wake up. Stop listening to what your parents told you growing up, that not to pay attention to politics. We need to pay attention to politics now more than ever, because we are so close to not being able to fix the problems that we have here. And I don't want to see that world that we go into if we can't fix our problems here, because it's going to be disastrous across the globe if we go downhill any farther than we already have. All right, guys. But again, I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to bring awareness to exactly what is going on, where our tax money's going. We need to wake people up more than ever. Wake people up first, find solutions after, okay? Get people to vote. Vote people in that actually care about you and your neighbor rather than a country on the other side of the goddamn globe. All right, guys. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Stay blessed out there, and I'll see you on the next video.
Yeah.